Professor says an adult wanting to have sex with a kid is accepted as being wrong, but it's not obvious to him that it is in fact wrong.
Imagine that an adult male wants to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. Imagine that she's a willing participant. A very standard, very widely held view that there's something deeply wrong about this, and it's wrong independent of it being criminalized. It's not obvious to me that is in fact wrong. I think this is a mistake, and I think that exploring why it's a mistake will tell us not only things about adult-child sex and statutory rape, but also about fundamental principles of morality.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse.
Well, there's a couple things to say here. One is, even if you are looking for a threshold, let's say there's a threshold. I'm making this number up, but let's say it's at age 8. Still, that tells you that some adult-child sex is permissible. Second, the notion that it's wrong even with a 1-year-old is not quite obvious to me. There are reports in some cultures of grandmothers filleting the baby boys to calm them down when they're colicky. Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is sort of widely reported as occurring in at least one culture, and it working, that the grandmothers believe this actually works. If this were to be true, and again, I don't know it to be true, if it were to be true, it's hard to see what would be wrong with it. So, yeah, I guess I think, no, I don't think there's a blanket period beyond which this is permissible. If we're interested in willing participation, which is the way I structured it, then yeah, there's a point below which people aren't willing participants in anything because they don't have intentions or they don't have the sort of mental states that allow for willing participation. But no, I don't think it's blanket wrong at any age.
He also suggests that we don't know if sex with a minor is good or bad, so therefore it shouldn't be banned or condemned.
If we're in the area of legislation rather than morality, here's a rule of thumb. If you don't know whether something has expected good or expected bad consequences, the thumb on the scale should go to liberty. So if we don't know whether willing sex with 15-year-olds is going to have net good or bad consequences, it's not like we say, oh, well, go ahead and ban it. The idea is that people trying to criminalize something bear the burden. And even having harsh opinions on this, before we condemn people for engaging these on the basis of probabilistic utilitarianism, we should know that it does pose a risk for those and only those willing participants. I don't think we know that.
SUNY Fredonia President Stephen Kershnar posted a statement Tuesday night regarding a video that circulated on social media earlier in the evening of one of its professors discussing sex between adults and children. SUNY Fredonia is aware of a video posted online involving one of its professors, the statement read. The views expressed by the professor are reprehensible and do not represent the values of SUNY Fredonia in any way, shape, or form. They are solely the professor's views. The matter is being reviewed. The clips appear to show Fredonia philosophy professor Stephen Kershnar talking about sex between adults and children. The context and source of the footage is unclear. Kershnar is also the author of Pedophilia and Adult-Child Sex, a philosophical analysis, which was published in 2015, and The Moral Status of Harmless Adult-Child Sex, an article published in Public Affairs Quarterly, Volume 15, Number 2, in 2001. His bio on Fredonia's website includes a line stating, Kershnar has written 100 articles and book chapters on such diverse topics as abortion, adult-child sex, hell, most valuable player, pornography, punishment, sexual fantasies, slavery, and torture. News 4 has reached out to Kershnar for comment with regard to Kershnar's bio on the Fredonia website, but the college is standing by the statement that has already been released. News 4 has also called and emailed Kershnar to get his side of the story, but has not heard back. I think the video honestly is one of the most disgusting things I've seen here on campus, and anyone who says or does the things like that should not be in a position of power, said Robert Krieger, a SUNY Fredonia freshman. Kershnar can be heard on a podcast in December 2020 questioning whether pedophilia is physically or emotionally harmful. He has also questioned statutory rape laws. In an op-ed Kershnar wrote in the Dunkirk Observer last year, he said he is a tenured faculty member at Fredonia. Fredonia has called him a distinguished professor, he's gotten hundreds of awards, and I just don't understand how they let somebody rise to such a high level of respect when he's degraded women in situations like this, said Haley Mercer, a SUNY Fredonia freshman. In New York State, No one under the age of 17 can consent to sex. According to our penal law, a minor who is under the age of 17 is incapable of consenting to any sexual relations, especially with an adult. It does not have to be an adult, it can be someone who is also a minor, but older than them, said Attorney Barry Covert. These are some of the most punitive offenses under our penal law. They are akin to committing homicide. You could be facing many years of incarceration. A petition on change.org seeks to gather signatures and calls for Kershnar to be fired.